Do you feel like headbutting and fighting with your teenage dog all the time? He's pulling like crazy, he's lunging, barking, growling at everything, overexcited all the time, including jumping on people. He doesn't listen to you anymore, and things are just exhausting. Well, they grow out of it, right? What if they're not? I hate to burst your bubble, but most of the time, what we see in teenage dogs manifests when they grow up. So let's talk about how we can fix the common issues and how we can actually enjoy the teenage years. Sorry to burst your bubble, but they can learn, and most of the time, the things we don't want stick. So we need to fix it now. But maybe you're asking, well, if they don't listen, how can we teach them anything? So I'll give you bulletproof strategies on how to deal with the issues in a moment. But first, let's see why this is happening. The teenage craziness is real. The brain is under development, so the brain is completely reconstructed, mostly driven by sex hormones. That's why I'm a big fan of waiting with a castration until they reach social maturity. Because if we take away the sex hormones, we freeze the brain in the current state, more or less. So this makes the teenage phase last longer. And who wants that, right? And the brain is rewired. So the brain is getting rid of everything unnecessary. So like us maybe, to make room for the new and more important interests like the opposite sex, right? So what we need to do is we need to make abundantly clear that we are very, very important to the dog because we provide the dog with outlets to his needs, with awesome stuff, with fun, right? So listening to our cues and signals is super important. So what we need to do in training is we need to make the sessions absolutely doable. We need to make whatever we ask of our dogs really possible. And for that we need very short sessions, very easy repetitions, and awesome rewards. So for example, if we ask our dog to come back to us, so a recall, and our dog listens, we do not only a treat from our hand, but we offer running together and maybe a game of tug and maybe a treat scatter. And we do that with less distractions than we would with a puppy to make it easy enough, right? So the dog doesn't have another choice that brings more fun, and that's how the cues get bulletproof. But you might wonder if this wouldn't increase the excitement. And yes, it would. So that's another reason why the sessions are short and why we do more cool down and relaxation. So again, the treat scatter, for example, and more relaxation in general. No tiring out the dog. That's a common belief and it backfires all the time. We don't need to tire out the dogs. The dogs need more relaxation. And very often, teenage dogs also need more physical contact, somebody to lean on, literally. So providing that will actually strengthen your bond with your dog. And all that relaxation effort also helps with things like reactivity. It lowers the overall stress level, which is elevated in the teenage years anyway. So lowering that makes working on the reactivity a lot easier if it doesn't go away completely. Now, the reactivity is something that is also a little bit natural for our teenage dogs because suddenly the opposite sex is more interesting and your dog might not know how to behave around other dogs anymore with this newfound interest, right? The opposite sex is now a resource, a very high value resource. That's biologically normal. So the same sex becomes the competition. And that's why we often see struggling in teenage dogs, right? So what we can do is we provide a solution and a strategy that the dog and ourselves can feel good with. So we need enough distance, we need a behavior that actually helps the dog feel comfortable and be polite to other dogs. And scattering treats is a very easy first step to that because it takes the nose down, that helps with relaxation, and it's polite toward the other dog. and they also need a way out. So this is the package we need to provide with them. And if they get really, really good with that, they will keep that knowledge and those skills until they are adults, right? So they will keep that for long. So again, we train all these things as easily and as fun as possible. Now, if you are still in the puppy phase, so your dog still has the baby teeth and you're just here to prepare, first of all, kudos to you. That's awesome. And you can teach all these strategies to your puppy already. You can teach your puppy to walk by other dogs. You can teach your puppy to ignore other dogs and do stuff with you. And the more easy and the more fun you make these games with your puppy, the more they will burn into your puppy's brain and survive the teenage years. So you will have a much easier time in a couple of weeks. Now, what about doggy friends? I mean, your dog needs social contact, right? Well, yes, but I like to keep these meetings short, and with the dog already knows, or with adult dogs who are very confident, sovereign, and can actually handle teenage dogs. That way we get more relaxation, we get more calmness around other dogs, and with adult dogs we don't have the headbutting teenagers often do because of the hormonal changes, right? And this can also be an opportunity to explore together. And exploring together again strengthens your bond, and it is very often a need our teenage dogs have because they want to go out into the world and just see what's there, right? See all the new smells that are interesting now. So in the teenage phase, try to be patient and understanding. Your dog isn't trying to screw with you. It's a hormonal thing. Keep it light, keep it easy, and try to see the changes with a smile. Now, if you're not 100% sure how you can actually increase your bond and do things together, watch this video.